Hi everyone. Once again, we're so thrilled to have you here in my kitchen as we cook our favorite recipes, dishes for all of you to try at home. My sister's making one of her favorites. It's a rapini pasta, and we love to have it. It's so delicious.
Rapini is a fantastic green that some people are intimidated by. Like, we're used to it because we're Italian. So it's, it's something that we saute, we cook, we boil, we do everything with them. But it's a very beautiful and healthy green. So I have one bunch of rapini here that I have washed and cut up into little chunks. Just to show you how I trim my rapini, I'm just going like that, just to get rid of the little bit of a woodsy end. Putting it in there. Okay, so just kind of like that. And then I'm going to cut it up in little bite-sized pieces. So when I boil it, it's nicely incorporated into the pasta when it's time. I'm actually pureeing half of it for the pasta and then mixing it all together. So now,
which is why these stems are okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So what I'm going to do now, my first step is going to be boiling these. I'm just for maybe about 3-4 minutes. I don't want it completely soft, but I want it soft enough so that when I do puree it, it'll puree nicely. Yet when I'm incorporating it within the pasta, it still has a little bit of bite, but it's still fully cooked. And while I do that, I have my pan on medium-low heat, and I'm putting in my beautiful guanciale that's been cut up into strips, and I'm going to render the fat out nicely, nice and slow. I don't need any additional oil in my pan before I put this in because the guanciale is going to release a good amount of oil to allow it to sear nicely. So now I'm going to be using my trusted spider to remove my rapini. It's okay if I have a little bit of water here. It'll all go into the pasta at the end of the day. So in my salted boiling water that I boiled my rapini in, I'm putting in a package of Orecchiette. This is 454 grams, which is perfect for one bunch of rapini that I made here. So I'm going to pour that in and I'm going to cook it till it's al dente. Now my guanciale is starting to cook down. So you can see it's kind of getting translucent. It'll end up getting nice and crispy, and slowly it's going to render. And I have time because I still have to cook my pasta and do whatever I have to do with my rapini. So what I have here is my boiled rapini, and I took some of the water that I boiled the rapini in here because I'm going to need it to kind of loosen up my rapini as I blend it here. So I'm going to add half of the rapini inside of this container. I'm going to put in some of the pasta water so it blends nicely. There we go. That's it. I don't want to puree to a very fine paste, but just enough. Once it all comes together and it purees so that it's like a nice consistency, that's all I want and that's all I need. So I'm going to remove the guanciale from the pan here, and then in the same pot with the oil from the guanciale, I'm going to be sauteing my garlic and my chili pepper. I'm also going to add an additional bit of olive oil just to get that going. The key to this step is once you start smelling that garlic, infusing the olive oil, you know you're ready for your rapini, both the puree and the pieces. With that little bit of water, it's perfectly fine to add that in. I'm going to bring this up to medium, let it come to a nice little simmer, and just close the lid. So along with this episode that Angela and I are doing together, we're each doing a dish. So I'm doing my beautiful pasta and rapini, she's doing stuffed peppers. Now what's great about this is we have our Cabernet Franc paired with this. So the roasted red peppers, the rapini, our Cabernet Franc is perfect with both these dishes. So Ange, take it away and show them how to make your beautiful peppers.
And this is so easy. So I've got 2 cups of cooked rice. Then I've got the 2 sausages that I took from the sausage casing and I cooked. I've got some Romano cheese here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and actually let's do the whole thing. 4 tablespoons of grated Romano cheese. Melissa, I do need an egg. Okay, great. So I'm going to add 1 egg to help bind it. You don't need more than that because then it'll be too, it'll just be too tight together and we don't want that. And too gloopy. Okay, we're gonna add that. And then I'm gonna add half a cup of shredded mozzarella. Salt and pepper. So I'm going to add a little bit of tomato sauce in it, just to give it some moisture. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of tomato sauce. A good handful of parsley and Melissa some olive oil, which thank goodness it's right here. And I'm just gonna drizzle olive oil into this rice mixture because we add olive oil to everything. This is looking great. So this is done and I'm ready to fill the peppers. I've got a baking dish here that is somewhat deep, but not too much. And I'm going to add on the base my tomato sauce, you know, the passata tomatoes that my sister makes. I don't make it every year, she does, so thank goodness for her. And it's not cooked, so it is from the jar. And it just adds a freshness to it. And obviously it allows the peppers to not stick to the bottom. Olive oil with everything, salt. So now we're gonna nestle these in. So again, I'm always making sure that the dishes that I make always look good and have a nice color. So again, I don't use green peppers for this. I use red and yellow peppers. So we're just gonna nestle these. So I've got 9 halves here. So about 4 peppers that I cut in half, and I was able to add 1 extra half. So this is all nestled in nicely. So we're just going to stuff it. It's not going to be perfect. Again, that's okay. So some people stuff their peppers upside. I like to cut it in the middle, so that way there's more of a surface for it to have the opportunity to have that nice crunch and roast. Oh, this looks great. So now we're preparing it to go into the oven. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that Romano cheese on top. And then I like to use panko breadcrumbs. Again, it gives it a nice crunch. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on here. And the way you get that crunch, of course, is to drizzle some olive oil on top of it. So it's gonna go into the oven for at 375 degrees bake. And it'll cook probably maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes, depending on your oven. So I always have extra rice with this recipe. So I've added the leftover mozzarella that I had. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake it in this smaller dish. So it is just a baked rice dish without the peppers, of course. So I'm going to sprinkle some of the breadcrumbs at the bottom, a little bit of olive oil at the base, throw this in there, and then I'm going to add Parmigiano on top, again for that crunch, that little bit of panko, olive oil, and this is going to be a great snack for the next day.
My pasta is perfectly al dente. My orecchiette are ready to be put in with my rapini sauce. I'm gonna fish out my garlic out of my rapini. I don't want any surprises and people thinking that it's a piece of orecchiette. So I'm putting it directly in here, and you know what? Some of the water gets brought in as well, which is all good. Because once I add my Parmigiano, it's gonna thicken it up a little bit. So that additional water is actually welcome in this dish. It makes it creamier. So if I feel like I need it a little bit more liquidy, I'll just add it in. At this point in time, I'm gonna add in my guanciale that I've crisped up. I'm gonna put in a little bit more than half, because then the rest I'm just gonna put on top of the dishes as I serve them. So now we're ready to eat our pasta and our stuffed peppers.
Yes, we are carb loading today. Yes. And we're gonna finish it off with our 2020 Cabernet Franc, which has always been a favorite of mine. And usually when you think of Cabernet Franc, you think of steak and some, heartier meats. However, the bitterness of the Rapini, the fattiness from the Guanciale, also the sausage and the peppers, we feel pairs really nicely with the Cabernet Franc. Mm-hmm. It's nicely balanced in acidity, so it cuts through all of that really well. And it's got soft enough tannins that really pairs well with all the different flavor components of both these dishes.
And roasted red pepper,
yes.
Cabernet Franc.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a great pairing. So yeah,
I want to smell it first and just...
a beautiful, beautiful wine. So this wine actually got rated a 94, and it won a bronze medal at Decanter World Wine Awards. So we're very proud of this wine. And if you visit our property, our Cabernet Franc is planted at the front of the property. So as you're driving through the driveway, to the left and right, that's where our Cab Franc is planted.
And it grows exceptionally well on our terroir at Two Sisters. Across, we have about 350 acres of vines, and the majority is Cabernet Franc. in the Niagara region. Yeah, look at this. I'm gonna sleep so well after this.
So I'm going to finish off our pasta with some of the guanciale that I've saved to put on top.
Yummy. And I'm going to add a little bit more cheese on my pasta.
I love guanciale.
Oh,
I
who
don't
doesn't?
ever feel guilty eating it. I really don't.
And look, Winnie, so we have a new addition to the family. I don't know if you can see her in the camera there, but her name is Winnie. She's a golden retriever. And I think she likes the guanciale too. But we're not going to give her any right now. Maybe off camera. Oh, wow. And I love rapini.
It's delicious.
I've got some of that crunchy guanciale in my mouth right now.
And see, the bitterness really brings out the flavors in the wine. Like it's really beautiful.
And the peppers, there's such a great surface of crunchiness there from the panko and the parmigiano and that little bit of drizzle of olive oil. And again, I like it with sausage meat. So do what you want. You can reinvent this dish as many times as you want with all the different meats, or just make it vegetarian. Right?
Delicious.
So nice. So we're gonna finish this and leave you all, but please try to make this at home. It's very, very easy. And again, don't be afraid of pairing wines like a Cabernet Franc with a pasta dish. You know, you wanna just experiment with the wines and with pairing in the comfort of your own home. And it's so personal. And for us, this is what we love.
It is.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.